Hello and welcome to another edition of Convict Inc. I'm your host, Robert Rosso. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. If you like this video, after you've watched it, share it with your family, friends, enemies, neighbors, etc. Last month, I announced that I would be doing some videos about addiction. So prison, genre, mob stuff, of course, criminal justice reform, and addiction. Well, today I'm going to mix a prison story with an addiction story, and this has to do with me. So, as many of you know, in 1998, I was sentenced to life without parole or life without the possibility of release for a nonviolent drug offense. During that time, I was diagnosed with cancer, and that is bladder cancer. So, it was in 2004 when that happened, by the way, and I was at USP Lewisburg. So about 3 years later, so it was January 2007, I was sent from USP Lewisburg in Pennsylvania to the Federal Medical Center in Butner, North Carolina, or the Federal Correctional Complex, I think it's actually called. And within the Federal Correctional Complex at Butner, there's 5 prisons. There's the camp or satellite camp, the low, the FCI-1, the FCI-2, and the FMC, which is the hospital, which was where I was originally sent. The FMC Butner in 2007 was just filled with prescription pills. This is at the height of the opioid epidemic, or start, I should say, and we were given a lot of opioids in federal prison as well. And then, of course, you can hustle and buy some and all that for the guys that are in the pill line. Imagine you're in a hospital. You know, there's a lot of guys that are sick, a lot of guys that are getting hydrocodone. And yeah, I took off on Percocets and hydrocodone and all that good stuff. I developed a really bad habit, and twice I was what is called dope sick, you know, going through bad withdrawals. And what had happened was I had worked my way up to taking, it was 36 Percocets in the morning, 180 milligrams of morphine in the afternoon, and a 100 milligram or micro, whatever it is, a fentanyl patch, 3 days old, of course. The gel out of it wasn't the brand new ones. And that has to do with prisoners who had the patch on their arm. They couldn't be, a lot of them couldn't be without. It's hard. It's easier after the nurse is going to take the patch off. They're not looking. So they sold them after they were, the day before they were supposed to get them off their arms. And they still worked plenty good when you snorted the gel out of them. Anyway, I get locked up. I get a dirty urine. And they don't bring me to the hole. They brought me to a room on the 4th floor that was like an isolation room for people who have like chicken pox or whatever, double door and all that good stuff. So I stayed there, and during that time was the worst withdrawal times I've ever had in my life. It was brutal. It was there was one, so it was 2 different times actually, but the last time it was almost 10 days of just pure hell. And it was like I was having nightmares awake, not, including the leg cramping and jumping and just being sick, vomiting, diarrhea, etc. Well, as a lot of addicts do, you think about suicide. And suicide was like heavily on my mind. I had a life sentence. I've got cancer. I'm strung out. I'm locked up in a room by myself because I got a dirty urine. So all that's going through your head. Well, I'd never, ever in my life wrote poetry or rhymes or tried to do anything like that. And it was coming down off of that cocktail of opiates that I came up and I wrote a poem called Cancer is the Answer. And what this was basically willing cancer to kill me because it would set me free. And I wrote this first draft, boom, boom, boom. It's kind of basic, but still I did it, first one ever. Cancer is the answer. Consume my body with your darkness, evil thing growing in me. My spirit has already been broken. My pride is starting to flee. Was it weakness that made me your target, or was it bad family genes? Was it the poisons I put in my body, or just a lesson from our unseen being? Why do you work your magic so slowly, sprouting like little seeds? Why not just capture me wholly, like an oil spill takes the sea? What you've done to so many families, such ferocious atrocities. Discrimination is beside you. What a dirty damn disease. Once in a while your grip does loosen, though not a soul truly breaks free. For you alone are the Almighty. Always have, always will be. So go on now and do your precious little deed. Yes, precious, you heard me. For this time you have chosen the wrong one. Thanks to you, I will finally be free. And let me tell you, so I think that either they scoped me and I was diagnosed or whatever. I had a whole bunch of cancer come back. And again, I'm coming down withdrawals, woe is me. And, it gets dark enough at certain times in prison when you're confined, like to a hole or a room by yourself. So then to add the opioid withdrawals, it's like a whole different deal. So I remember writing that, and I was just like, that's actually started me writing some more stuff that I'm sure I'll come up and read at a future time. Anyway, cancer is the answer. Yeah. And man, it was pretty dark. I mean, it was a dark, dark time for real. Yeah, it sure was, come to think of it. All right, well, video will be soon. Another video soon. Take care.